During the years of independence, Kazakhstan has become one of the key states of Eurasia. The country's opinion has considerable weight in world politics. The republic is known for its initiatives and peacekeeping activities. As the chair of the UN Security Council Sanctions Committee on Somalia and Eritrea, Kazakhstan has made a significant contribution to a decision to lift sanctions against Eritrea. The representatives thanked Kazakhstan for such a historic decision and assistance in establishing sustainable peace in the region.
Carried his mandate very skillfully, with a lot of diplomatic skill, very constructive. We have always good access to his office and to himself. And finally, the sanction on Eritrea has been lifted. So this is a very significant outcome of the work of Kazakhstan and the rest, of course, of the rest of the members of the Security Council.
Today, Kazakhstan is actively involved in global processes of all areas. Foreign experts and politicians highlight the merits of the republic. U.S. Congressman Dana Rohrabacher sees great prospects on expanding cooperation with Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan has overcome those forces within Kazakhstan that would divide people. Furthermore, Kazakhstan has had a great deal of nuclear waste to deal with. They've had leftovers from the Cold War, and they have done an admirable job of trying to find a way of dealing with this nuclear waste in a way that not only protects the people of Kazakhstan, but the whole world. So Kazakhstan's done a lot of good things. Kazakhstan is the center of the planet. And what we need to do is work with Kazakhstan so that it becomes a communications hub and a transportation hub for the whole world. Now we can do that as we have new technologies that are coming to play.
The interest of the world community in development of mutually beneficial relations with Kazakhstan is growing. The number of diplomatic missions to Kazakhstan and the opening of offices by world organizations in the republic serve as evidence. There are high expectations on Kazakhstan's processing sector as part of the third five-year industrialization plan. Thus, integrated development of the light industry and jewelry production is planned. One of the main goals is to increase competitiveness of the processing industry. There's an emphasis on digital transformation of processes and performance improvement. By 2025, the indicator in the processing sector will increase by 1.7 times, exports will grow by 2.3 times, and investment in fixed assets will be doubled compared with 2016.
Прямая государственная поддержка будет направлена на три группы предприятий.
The direct state support will be given to three groups of enterprises. The first is development of mass entrepreneurship. The second is competitive manufacturers and companies without state participation. The third is the backbone enterprises in basic industries, which implement projects to increase productivity of technological re-equipment and new large capital-intensive projects with involvement of transnational companies.
Проекты с привлечением транснациональных компаний.
Light industry is demonstrating growth in Kazakhstan's economy. The increase is observed in areas such as textile industry and garment production. Today, Kazakhstan's light industry is represented by almost 1,000 enterprises, 95% of which are small businesses. The number of the industrial facilities is growing every year. 7 new enterprises were opened in 2018, while 3 new projects will be implemented in the near future.
жеңіл өнеркәсіптің 3 жобасын іске қосу жоспарланған. Бұлар жаңағы
We are planning to commission 3 light industry projects in Turkestan and Almaty regions, as well as the city of Shymkent. The projects include construction of the third phase of the carpet manufacturing factory. The facility will focus on manufacturing yarns. The light industry output is worth 90 billion tenge. The government is focused on the development of non-raw materials exports. In the upcoming years, the government will allocate an additional of $500 billion tenge for the light industry development.
500 миллиардтың 470 миллиарды осы біздің экспорттық мекемелерге келешекте
470 billion tenge out of half a trillion tenge will be allocated to finance enterprises, while the remaining 30 billion tenge will be spent on service support for the businesses. We are planning to open representative offices of Kazakhstan's Chamber of Commerce and Industry abroad. There are such offices in the Russian city of Novosibirsk. In particular, we are set to open 10 more offices.
Қандай мемлекеттің ана жақта техникалық лицензияларын алу керек жолын көрсетеді.
Experts believe that the light industry started growing since the beginning of the industrialization program, as part of which more than 1,000 new enterprises were opened in Kazakhstan. About 100 industrial facilities were commissioned last year. Over 500 product types are exported today to 110 countries. The first hybrid cardiac surgery was held in Kazakhstan. Cardiac surgeons in Astana were the 8th in the world to successfully perform 2 invasive interventions at the same time. Doctors implanted an artificial valve for 74-year-old resident in East Kazakhstan region, Yury Dudaryev. The surgeons also performed a coronary artery bypass surgery. Surgical procedures lasted more than 2 hours. However, this operation took 4 hours, without a break between interventions. These surgical operations have been performed in the world for several years now. Performing several types of surgical interventions on one organ helped a lot of patients. Such complex manipulations are recorded. For example, this is an exclusive video of Yury Dudaryev's surgery. Experts believe that the footage can serve as a visual aid for Kazakhstan's future cardiac surgeons. Another advantage of the video surveillance is that the operation can be monitored online and the patient will not have to undergo several procedures at different times.
Этому пациенту была противопоказана операция открытая. An
open heart operation was contraindicated in this patient, and he has had this disease for quite a long time. However, our clinic's surgeons were able to combine these 2 procedures. We performed the surgery for the first time. This is the 8th hybrid cardiac surgery in the world. Cardiac surgeons believe that they will be able to perform more operations of this kind in the near future. Meanwhile, doctors continue monitoring Yury Dudaryev's condition. He will spend a few more weeks in the hospital. I don't feel bad right now. The surgical operation was difficult for me because my body weakened. It was hard for the doctors to find a spot for the injection. My condition is good so far. There's a high demand for such operations in Kazakhstan and the world. Currently, experts believe that the hybrid interventions will allow avoiding complications and will prolong the patients' lives. Foreign ministers of the Central Asia-India Dialogue will hold a meeting on January 12th to 13th in Samarkand. This was announced by Turkmenistan's foreign minister. According to the minister, the platform is aimed at creating new opportunities to expand cooperation between the countries. As part of the dialogue, the parties are planning to enhance contacts in the political, trade, economic, scientific, technological, and educational fields. Strengthening multilateral partnerships within the dialogue will provide the Central Asian countries with the opportunity to access the Indian Ocean. Tajik government is planning to increase the GDP volume by 2.6 times in 11 years. The republic is set to increase the GDP value to over 207 billion somoni, or about $22 billion by 2030. The plans were outlined in Tajikistan's National Development Strategy. The Tajik government will focus on ensuring the diversification of the economy and increasing the production of industrial goods and electricity. Tajikistan is currently implementing a construction project of the Rogun hydroelectric power plant. From February 1st, Uzbekistan will introduce visa-free arrangements for 30 days for the citizens of 45 additional countries, according to President Shavkat Mirziyoyev's new decree. Also, citizens of 76 countries will have a right to obtain an electronic entry visa from February 1st. From March 15th, the government will introduce multiple electronic visas for 1 month. Simplified visa requirements and the rules of stay in Uzbekistan allowed to increase the number of foreign tourists. Graduates of the Ahmet Yasavi International Kazakh-Turkish University who continue their graduate program studies in Ankara have established a tradition, which is to meet once a month in order to discuss Kazakh and foreign literary works. This is an initiative of representatives of the Permanent Council of the university, where professors also take an active part. Students have read and discussed the works of Kazakh, Kyrgyz, and Turkish authors. Among them are the works of Nursultan Nazarbayev, the famous works of Rahim Jan Otarbayev, Shingiz Aytmatov, and Rahmankul Berdibay. Professor Ihsan Kalenderoglu of the Gazi University says that such meetings contribute to development of intercultural relations of representatives of the Central Asian region. Each meeting, the students are given books that will be discussed next time. Thus, the students plan to hold a future meeting to the creativity of Kazakh writer Kulbek Yergobek. We have established a good tradition of getting together once a month in order to get acquainted with works of Turkish and Kazakh scientists and writers. There's a good exchange of different opinions and a multilateral analysis, given the fact that undergraduate and graduate students have different majors. There's a philosophical reasoning. To date, we have managed to discuss 10 books. Tourism is one of the most dynamically developing areas in the world economy. Today, experts say that Kazakhstan is moving forward with the trend as the country increases its tourism potential. The country also has ancient archaeological sites, amazing natural landscapes, and a variety of resorts to show to tourists. The Almaty region can offer services for different types of tourists. A new ski facility has been opened in the region. 5,000 visitors can be welcomed to the facility per day. The ski track is 13 kilometers. The modern cable car is nearly 4 kilometers long.
Almaty облысының мүмкіндігі туризмді қабылдау. Осы жылда біз бітірдік.
This year, the Almaty region utilized its tourism potential. More than 2 million people visited our region. Among them are Kazakhs and foreign guests. They chose the Charin Canyon and the Kolsai Lake. There are many other amazing places in our region. I think that with the opening of the ski resort, the flow of tourists will increase. We plan to welcome 4 million visitors annually.
Орталықтардың арқасында 4 миллионнан астам жасаймыз деп ойлау. Сондай жоспарымыз бар.
Last year, there was a surge of interest among tourists on hot springs in Uyghur region, which is located in the Almaty region. Tour operators say that the Western Europe-Western China transit corridor contributed to the interest. It significantly shortened the path and made it comfortable for thousands of people who like thermal waters. I am 73 years old. I have been to all continents of the globe. The climate and time zone are different and it is inconvenient to spend money on the road. Why is this necessary? We drove 360 kilometers in 3.5 hours from home to here. Above 40 degrees Celsius is the temperature of the hot springs water. The water flows right to the pool. It does not lose its heat even in frosty January. The mineral water has healing properties. Experts say that its composition helps to heal joint, heart, kidneys, and stomach pains. Our zone is fully occupied on weekends. We have a zone for 120 people. There are tourists from other countries, including Poland, America, and Russia. Everyone comes here to warm up. Today, thermal waters in the area are available to many people. There are more than 40 recreation areas. Businessmen plan to significantly increase the number of the areas. The demand is growing. Tourists from all over Kazakhstan and foreign countries arrive for the thermal water. This year, the young generation of the Caspian Sea littoral countries will gather in the Mangistau region. In August, Friendship of Youth 2019, a forum of the border state will be organized as part of the Aktau summit. 100 representatives from each country will arrive for the meeting. Representatives in education and medicine, as well as bloggers, viners, politicians, and other young active citizens will attend the forum. This is not the only upcoming event dedicated to the youth. In total, there will be 100 events dedicated to the Year of Youth as part of the roadmap. A marathon is also planned to gather athletes from around the world. These kinds of marathons are organized all around the world. Take, for example, the Berlin Marathon, the Boston Marathon, and the London Marathon. They popularize the cities. For example, Astana and Almaty are very active now. In May of this year, we plan to organize a marathon in Aktau. We expect it will become traditional and annual. President Nursultan Nazarbayev's article, The 7 Facets of the Great Step, has encouraged many American cultural figures for cooperation. U.S. documentary filmmakers and producers have showed interest in the history of Kazakhstan. In the article, President Nazarbayev urged to start the production of a series of films demonstrating the continuation of Kazakhstan's civilization. The president emphasized that the work on the projects should be performed as part of an extensive international cooperation with the involvement of the Kazakh and foreign scriptwriters, directors, and producers.
Мы знаем, Италия гордится своей историей, Греция, Египет.
As we know, countries such as Italy, Greece, and Egypt are proud of their history. Kazakh President Nursultan Nazarbayev wrote this article in due time. We work in the field of documentary films, graphics, and modern technologies in art. Therefore, we are interested in participating in Kazakhstan's documentary projects, if there is an opportunity.
Если появится такая возможность участвовать в жизни Казахстана именно в этой области.
Kazakh president's article made a great impression on British expert David William Perry. The poet, playwright, member of the Royal Society of Arts and chairman of the Eurasian Creative Guild visited Kazakhstan more than once. He believes that Kazakhstan has a lot to offer and the world can learn a lot from the country.
You know, the imagery of the animals, the plants, in the wood, in the stone, it all shows a great interconnectivity between man and nature, something the West is only just learning and something certainly Kazakhs have known from the beginning. But, you know, going there, visiting, looking at the art, meeting the people, you get a natural sense of connectivity with the Kazakhs. I love Almaty. Almaty's the exciting cultural capital, but my mind was blown away when I went to Astana.
Foreign experts continue studying Nursultan Nazarbayev's article, The 7 Facets of the Great Step. They all agreed that the document is of historical importance. Kazakhstan should promote its history and contribution to world civilization. Astana is hosting an exhibition of artwork reproductions by American artist Sri Chinmoy titled The Fountain of Art. 38 unique paintings were presented in the exposition. The artist expressed his creativity by combining abstract images with light strokes. Psychologists believe that these paintings bring the art admirers closer to the nature, thereby relieving tension and fatigue. Healing properties of the artist's paintings won worldwide recognition. The originals of Sri Chinmoy's works are kept in private galleries in the USA, England, and France. Meanwhile, almost all the paintings are painted in the Jarnakala style invented by the artist, which in Bengali means fountain art. The exhibition visitors can learn about the artist's works and try painting themselves during master classes of art therapy painting, which is held every day. The paintings are used in many countries to enable people to relieve tension and bring them in a constant flow of harmony with their inner world. Psychologists use these paintings in many countries. This project is presented for the entire population of Astana. In the upcoming days, we are expecting that the children's and adolescents institutions, as well as other residents of Astana, will visit the exhibition.